Welcome to the YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub, your one-stop solution for expert guidance, best practices, and actionable knowledge in the world of contact centers. Explore, learn, and enhance contact center skills. Now let's break down the key considerations for target setting of average handle time in call centers. When setting targets for average handle time, the very first factor we must consider is the nature of the business and the types of calls being handled. Transactional calls, such as password resets or account balance checks, are straightforward. Here, shorter AHT targets, typically 2 to 4 minutes, are both realistic and achievable. On the other hand, complex or consultative interactions, think of insurance claims, healthcare queries, or advanced technical troubleshooting, naturally demand more time. These cases often run 8 to 15 minutes, and that's not inefficiency, it's simply the complexity of the service. And then, we must distinguish between sales and service environments. In sales, a slightly longer AHT can be an advantage. It gives the agent time to build rapport, uncover needs, and create upsell or cross-sell opportunities. In service, efficiency may be more critical to keep queues moving. The key insight here is this: target AHT cannot be one size fits all. It must be carefully aligned to the call type mix of the business, balancing efficiency with the customer experience and business outcomes. The second key factor in setting AHT targets is customer expectations and experience. Customers ultimately value resolution over speed. A quick interaction that leaves issues unresolved will only drive dissatisfaction, repeat contacts, and lower loyalty. That's why setting very aggressive AHT targets can backfire. If agents feel pressured to rush through conversations, it can erode first contact resolution and weaken CSAT. Instead, organizations should use customer surveys, feedback loops, and journey analytics to understand what customers truly value. This insight helps define thresholds that feel fast enough, but not at the cost of quality. One best practice is to move away from treating AHT as a standalone KPI, pair it with quality metrics like CSAT and FCR, for example, AHT within target and CSAT above 85%. This dual KPI approach ensures balance. Customers get efficient service without sacrificing experience. The third consideration when setting AHT targets is historical performance and benchmarking. Always start by reviewing your own past trends. Look at how AHT has varied across different channels, teams, and call types. This gives you a realistic baseline of what's normal for your operation. Next, compare these results with industry benchmarks. For instance, banking interactions may average around 5 to 6 minutes, while complex insurance or telecom troubleshooting calls may extend well beyond 10 minutes. E-commerce support might sit somewhere in between. The goal is to set targets that are ambitious enough to drive improvement, but still achievable. If you set them too aggressively, you risk disrupting quality and morale. If you set them too loosely, you miss the opportunity to optimize. The sweet spot lies in using both your own history and external benchmarks to calibrate realistic, motivating AHT thresholds. Now, let's talk about operational capacity and staffing. In every contact center, workforce planning relies on staffing models like Erlang-C, and one of the most critical inputs to these models is average handle time. If your AHT target is set unrealistically low, your forecasts will underestimate the number of agents required. That shortfall translates directly into longer queues, higher abandon rates, and missed service levels. On the flip side, if AHT is set too high, the system assumes more agent hours than you actually need. That leads to overstaffing, inflated idle time, and unnecessary payroll costs. The key is balance, aligning AHT targets with workforce management planning and your defined service level goals. When this alignment is achieved, you optimize both customer experience and cost efficiency, ensuring your contact center runs smoothly without overspending. Let's move into the role of technology and process maturity in shaping average handle time. Contact centers with advanced tools like AI-powered agent assist, integrated CRMs, and automated call summaries are able to sustain much lower AHT levels because agents spend less time searching, toggling, or documenting. In contrast, centers that still operate with fragmented or outdated systems will naturally see higher AHT, as inefficiencies in workflows add seconds or even minutes to every interaction. And remember, technology maturity is never static. As automation, self-service, and digital adoption evolve, your AHT targets must be reassessed regularly. That way, you're aligning expectations with the actual capabilities of your tools and ensuring targets remain both realistic and achievable. Now let's talk about how regulatory and compliance requirements shape average handle time. In highly regulated industries like finance, healthcare, or insurance, agents are bound by strict protocols. They must deliver lengthy disclosures, conduct multi-step verifications, and follow legally mandated scripts. These steps aren't optional. They're critical for compliance, customer protection, and organizational credibility. But they also extend the length of each call. That's why AHT targets in regulated environments must be set with these realities in mind. Pushing for shorter times without accounting for compliance will only create risk, expose the organization to penalties, and compromise trust. The key is balancing efficiency while respecting the non-negotiable legal framework. Let's move on to how agent skill mix and attrition influence average handle time. New agents almost always have higher AHT simply because they're still building product knowledge, mastering systems, and learning call flows. Over time, as they gain experience, their handle times naturally decrease. Now, in high attrition environments, this cycle keeps repeating. Fresh hires continuously replace seasoned agents, which pushes average handle time higher and makes it difficult to sustain consistent performance. That's why setting a single rigid AHT target for everyone can be counterproductive. Instead, consider tiered targets, more flexible for rookies and tighter for tenured agents. This approach avoids demotivating new staff while still rewarding efficiency and expertise among experienced team members. It's about creating a fair, realistic path toward continuous improvement. Finally, let's talk about the balanced scorecard approach. Average handle time should never be measured in isolation. If agents are evaluated only on speed, they may game the system, rushing through calls, skipping empathy, or overlooking compliance steps. That's why AHT must always be paired with other customer-centric KPIs like first contact resolution, customer satisfaction, and overall quality. Together, these metrics ensure that speed does not come at the cost of customer trust. For example, instead of simply setting a target of 6 minutes AHT, the scorecard might include AHT of 6 minutes, CSAT of at least 85%, and FCR of at least 80%. This balanced approach drives sustainable performance, aligning operational efficiency with customer experience excellence. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights. See you in the next video.